all okay. Now, okay, so these are Bernie's new Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna stories. And here they are. Don't they look really groovy? Can you see? There's Uncle Albert up there. Oh, he's got some light on him. And Auntie Edna. They're originals from the 1970s. And today's topic is rather hot and contentious. And, do you know what it is? It is my frustrations with women. All right, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna? I'm telling you all about my frustrations with women these days. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody smiling? Here we go. We're all smiling, aren't we? And we're keeping positive, aren't we? Keeping positive. So, ever since this lurgy descended upon us, what an unreal world we're in, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna. Yes, Auntie Edna. Oh, it's like a planet's been invaded by invisible alien that takes over people's bodies and you can't see it in them. This buggy thing. And you can't tell whether the humans have got it or not. And that first week, people are looking at me, Auntie Edna, as if I had a green head. You know, I was going around delivering my parcels and they're going, ooh, oh. But now everything seems much nicer. By the way, do you like my nice T-shirt? Nostalgia Club. Ha ha ha, Bernie's Nostalgia Club. Anyway, the main alien that people are beginning to say that's around, the big worrying cluster... Blimey. Here we go. Oh, doesn't he look scary? Here you go, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna. He looks so scary. I love this. Not only is it orange, but you can see him straining every sinew in his body to look superior and presidential, because inside, deep down, he knows he's a fake. So here he is. And superior, and somebody's put all these homemade orange suckers on them. I think they're brilliant, don't you? Oh, they're so funny. We have another version of, here he is, Auntie Edna. He's looking quite scary and dangerous. Can you see him? He's looking very, very scary and dangerous. But my main worry about him is his attitude to women, to the fairer sex. Now, Uncle Albert, do you remember he was accused of misogyny? You remember what misogyny is? It is being putting women down, being unfair towards women. And Auntie Edna, have you ever heard of misandry? I never have before. Well, misandry is unfair prejudice towards men from women. Well, it don't bloody exist, does it, much? But we've all heard of misogyny. Now, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna, you are right groovy couple. You're the 70s couple. Let me just show you, remind everybody how groovy they look. Can you see how groovy she is? Groovy. And how Uncle Albert is so groovy, groovy, groovy. Here he is. He's so groovy. They are groovy. And they know that women aren't just... people who stereotype, they say women are nurses and not doctors, and they assume that a doctor's a man. But most doctors now are women. Did you know that? Women are supposed to cook and do all the housework. Well, not necessarily. Uncle Albert will tell you that. And men are supposed to have a job. Well, no, not necessarily. Uncle Albert will tell you all about that. And women are very caring and friendly. Well, that's true. That is true. And men are very tough and messy. Well, no, not necessarily. And women are followers. And perhaps they are too following. Maybe they need to be a bit more involved and things like that. And, yeah, so many stereotypes and generalisations nowadays. Anyway, here are the lovely couple. Can you see them? Matching, glowing, matching orange glow together. Can you see? And what do you think she sees in him? What do you think? What do you think she saw in him? Money. Money, I reckon money, don't you? And I reckon he found her in a catalogue. He was there leafing through his catalogue and he went, oh, I'll have number 226. Think it's funny? Well, it's not so funny as it might sound because it's not widely talked about, but Melania was born quite poor and she came from, you remember her name, people, don't you? Melania. There she is. Can you see her there? Melania. That's her name. They met in 1998 and they started going out even before he divorced his other wife, Maria. So she's wife number 3. And she was born in 1970, so she's about 20 or 30 years younger than him. And she started modelling at the age of 5. And she posed nude in a French magazine in 1996. And shortly afterwards, she came to the attention of the Trump model agency. Trump used to own an agency where women did modelling. He managed them, all these women doing modelling. So, that makes you think a bit about Trump, didn't you? You didn't know that, did you? And she posed nude on Trump's private jet in 2006, did Melania. Yeah. And the Trump model agency management ran from 1999 till 2017. And did you know Trump owned the Miss Universe competition and he owned the Miss USA competition and even more worrying, he owned the Miss Teen USA. I mean, the thought of teenagers being Miss USA sounds immoral to me. It's bad enough women walking up and down and men judging them going, oh, I like that one. Oh, I wrote that one. That one is Miss Universe. Well, Trump organised that. He saw women as objects, didn't he? You know, objects. And what really got me was during the presidential election, it came out in 2005, he was recorded making rude and very nasty boasts about sexually assaulting women. That was outrageous, wasn't it? He was assaulting women. I mean, bloody hell. And a number of women came forward and made very, very serious allegations against him. I mean, going back to the Miss World competitions, things like that. Do you remember the hippie chicks of that generation protesting against them, saying it's degrading for women and things like that? Well, he used to run them, didn't he? And I mean, I cannot understand how the women of America, I mean, it gets me. I mean, how did they vote for such a man? 25 women came forwards and made serious allegations against him about sexual impropriety and sexual assaults. 25 women! 25! And then he got voted as a president. How can you vote a man who's a serial sex offender, really, to become president of the United States? What's the matter with you? You know, bloody hell. And now all these allegations are mysteriously disappeared. Isn't that amazing? They've disappeared. I mean, you know, and since he's been president, do you remember he was on the television programme The Apprentice and they go, you're fired, you're fired. He's been firing everybody. He's got over 100% staff turnover in the upper echelons of his senior management presidential team. He's got 85% turnover of staff. And he goes, you're fired. Every other week when he became president, he was going, you're fired. He's crazy. He's frightening. And when he did his campaign, he said, and somebody's put all these clips together, they're amazing. And he says, nobody knows more about nuclear weapons than me. Politicians know nothing about taxes, but I can tell you I know all about taxes. Well, he bloody avoided them, didn't he? And then, nobody knows more about construction than me. Nobody knows more about drones than me. Nobody knows more about technology than me. Nobody knows more about history than me. Nobody knows any more about ISIS than me. Nobody knows more about steelworkers than me. Nobody knows more about women than me. Women? Bloody hell! Oh, he is scary. How did they vote for him? Anyway, you've got all these pictures appearing of him, and you know, this is quite a nice cartoon. I don't know if you can see it all right. Look, you look at this, Uncle Albert and Aunt Edna. Look, his unreal face. I think it's brilliant. It's a brilliant cartoon. Yeah, and it says he is the dangerous virus. And how to deal with him? Well, you need to have one of these masks. Can you see it all right, the mask? Yes, properly fitted. America would be safer. Now, this is one of the lovely girls who works at Anson Court. Brilliant care home it is. Her name's Jessie, and she's a fantastic worker. And I hear, Uncle Albert, that you've been ordering these safety masks for people. What's it called? PPE? You know what it means, personal protection equipment. But I am rather worried about what you've been ordering. I mean, bloody hell. Can you see it all right, folks? What on earth has he been ordering? I mean, bloody hell. But now, I know Sam's watching. Now, I've got to thank Sam for this little joke. He also ordered these trikinis. Aren't they quite good? They're quite pretty, aren't they? I mean, they're quite good, aren't they? But women are going to have to... There'll be white bits on women here after wearing them masks. There you go. So, as many of you know, I used to be a care home entertainer in the care homes. And the care homes went, no, stop coming in. And I said, well, what will happen to me? They said, well, we don't care. So, anyway... After doing that, I went and got a job as a courier driver, and I'm going to rush off and deliver loads and loads of parcels shortly. So, and I've been going around, and the first week everybody looked at me like I had a green head, and it was like I was delivering nuclear reactive poo, and they were going, ah! But this week everybody seems so nice and cool and lovely, and I even have long distance chats at least 10 feet away from the house, and lots of lovely pictures are going up in people's doorways saying, thank you, Mr. Delivery Man. Oh, isn't that lovely, eh? Isn't that lovely? And one of the weird things, though, is that whenever I get these parcels delivered, a lot of the time, the labels, the address labels are absolute rubbish. You're looking at them and it says, oh, Doris, London, and you think, how am I supposed to find that? Or you just have a street name, or you just have somebody's name. And invariably, very often, it's the women's clothing ones, and it's the Pretty Little Thing parcels. Now, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna, now, one of the worst places for sexism and sex discrimination is the city, but I'll come back to that. But you groovy people, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna, you, of all people, Auntie Edna, would never allow yourself to be called a pretty little thing. I can imagine if a man said, oh, come over here, you pretty little thing. You'd go and kick him in the shins, wouldn't you, Auntie Edna? Yes. Well, so, there we are. A pretty little thing. I just find it staggering how women put up with being, you know, treated as a thing these days, and a pretty thing and a little thing. I mean, what more sexist and materialist? What a load of rubbish. You get rid of, I mean, why are you buying from this company? What's the matter with you? You know, how do you put up with it? Anyway, I met this lady on the round. She works in the city, and I said, oh my God. As Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna know, one of the worst places for sexism and discrimination is working in the city. There have been so many cases of unfair dismissal and sexism and very bad behaviour coming into the attention of the press and the courts. Very high profile cases where people have sued these city gents for lots of money. And I said, oh my God, you work in the city, how are you coping? And she saw, as it happens, I helped set up a support group for women because it is very difficult. It's very hard, and they get up to all sorts of things. And she says, you know, that they really need this group to help support each other. But she says one of the problems they have is some of these women become even worse than the men. They join them and they join in this behaviour. But you know the sort of behaviour I mean. Here's a cartoon, these men all clubbing together. Now, I mean, I'll tell you what, I mean, you know, look at that chap being really cocky. And Aunt Edna would tell you what to do. She'd say, go over to him and whisper in his ear, your flies are undone. That'd sort him out. Anyway, there are strategies for dealing with these men in the business world, but, oh my God. Anyway, back to the 70s. Do you remember the style of the 70s? We're going, our hair is growing, and we're going to go over back to the 70s. Do you remember these tight trousers? I remember back in the 70s, I was a young lad. I went to college, and yeah, I went to college, and after college, I tell you what, let's show you some hairstyles like this. Oh, there we go. Aren't they great? And just for your delight, I'm going to model you what my hair looks like. This is the 70s Bernie. Back in time, I used to have hair like that. Isn't it good? Yeah. So, we're all going that way. We're all going to have hair again like that. Anyway, back in the 70s, I was at college. And I used to go to college every day on my moped. I used to drive 25 miles on this little poxy moped going... And I'd arrive at Hendon College. I was studying hotel and catering management at the time. Oh, this is quite good, isn't it? Oh, I like my hair like that. And I was very shy around girls because my parents were a bit of a car crash when it came to relationships. So I thought... Oh, I don't want to be in a car crash. Oh, I've got these bits here coming down. Right. And anyway, there was one girl. She was very nice. And I went, oh, I do like you. And I went up to her and I said, I plucked up courage. Very hard, you know. And I went, oh, can I invite you out, please? And she kind of went, oh, have you got a car? And I went, no, sorry, I've only got my little scooter thing. And she said, sorry, I'm not going out with you unless you have a car. So anyway, a few weeks later, I was going to college. And I arrived at the college and I saw this Rolls Royce. And who did I see getting out the Rolls Royce? But this girl. Yeah, never mind, Bern. There are always better girls in the city, aren't there? Maybe she wasn't worth it. Maybe, oh well, that's the sort of thing she wants. Well, that's it. Anyway, I was just this poor little spotty-faced kid. Hello, Paula, help me. Do you like my hair, Paula? Yeah, anyway, there we go. And so, there I was, working in this place, and in this factory place, and I was quite caring. After college, I went to work in this big sort of food factory place. And we used to have nylon coats and nylon hats. And I remember you used to build up static. And when you used to touch the light switch, you go... God, if you ever got sleepy, you go... And my hair would go... Woo. Anyway, and I was quite caring. I used to help a lot of the people there. A lot of these women were on the wrong tax codes, single mums and that. And I'd say, look, dear, you're on the wrong tax code. And I used to help them fill in all their paperwork and get lower tax codes. And the firm were quite impressed the way I was so quite caring. And, they used to say they made me welfare officer. Yeah, and I was appalled, really. I couldn't understand why all these really hard women who do quite skillful jobs were on less pay than the men, and men who were sweeping up and things like that. I just didn't understand it. And so I used to say, there's a union meeting coming up. So I used to go, oh, you should go to the union meeting, go, why don't you go to the union meeting? And they all say, oh no, I ain't got time for that. Oh no, I'm not good enough to go to the union meeting. I've got to go home and cook for my husband. There I worked. All the staff that I was in charge of were women, and they were quite hard. They were quite hard to manage. because they saw their job as secondary. They saw their first job as looking after their husband and their children. So anything happened to little Jimmy, I've got to take the time off. So I'd always be like trying to cover. And then when it came to holidays, they all had to have the holiday at the same time because their husbands told them. All their husbands worked in a local factory where they all shut. And so I had real trouble covering the stuff because I went, they all saw themselves as secondary. Well, isn't that frustrating? Yeah. And there was this very dangerous woman who used to go around in that place. She was a supervisor lady. And you see, this is how we used to look. And she used to come and touch men in the lunchbox area. Here. I mean, how shocking is that? A woman going up to a bloke like me and trying to stroke me there. I mean, bloody hell. And then later I worked for a different company. And I remember they were very generous at Christmas. They gave us all a special Christmas dinner and we went round there. And I had the honour of sitting next to the managing director of the company, and I was only about 20-something, and I was very nervous, and I was sitting there, and I was watching my P's and Q's and go, oh yes, managing director, oh yeah, I'm very good. And I was quite nervous, and then suddenly this foot appeared in my crotch, this foot, and it was a stocking foot, it was a lady's foot, was rubbing me genitals, me lunchbox. She was rubbing my cranbrook, and I went back. I kind of rushed back, and I kind of went back like that. And, oh my God, I thought, bloody hell. I didn't know what to do. I was like frozen. Why couldn't she just sort of talk to me or something? I couldn't even tell which woman it was. I was shocked. And then this woman had this sort of funny grin on her. Can you imagine a woman behaving like that? And then back in the 70s, they used to have women, they used to put them in, herd them in, cram them, no social distancing. They'd cram them all together. And they used to get high on the Chemex. And they used to have, like, typing away on these old-fashioned typewriters in the typing ball. And then a light would go, bzz, 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 a buzzer would go, and it was take the biscuits in and tea. Your turn, Doris, to make the tea for Mr. Brown. Why can't Mr. Brown make his own bloody tea? That's what I'm saying. And all these posh women, what were they doing? They were learning to balance books on their heads like that. They were going to finishing school, and they were learning how to walk with refinement and appropriate wiggle. Bloody hell! Can't they be using the books for better things? And then what are these 1950s women doing? They're being brainwashed into thinking they're having all their self-confidence being sucked out of them. That's why it was a man's ingenious idea that they should all be permed, have their hair permed, and think that that was really important. Do you think, Uncle Albert, that men care about women's perms? No, they couldn't give a thing. And now, for a nice little joke, what do you call a load of women at a singles nightclub? Married. And I remember years and years, I used to go to these meetings when I was a probation officer. Yeah, I used to be a probation officer. And we used to like having weekly meetings. So we used to love having meetings. And I used to call them the practical alternative to work, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna. Yes, hours and hours in team meetings. And they were often dominated by the sound of a man going, warbling. Wah, 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 wah. And I was beginning to think, I wish they'd bring down the oxygen now. We're going to need it. I'm going to need it. I'm going to fall asleep. And he'd go, and there was a woman over there, and I knew she had bigger brains. And I knew she was a young lady with lots of intelligence and had more knowledge on the subject. And I go, Judy? And then she go, and she didn't want to talk. And then there was another lady over there who was absolutely fabulous at her job. And she was so good, but she never used to speak during the meetings. Oh, did I get frustrated? All these women were sitting there and they used to let this man go on and on. He loved the sound of his own voice. I don't think what he said made any sense. Oh dear. And these women never used to contribute in the meetings because they thought they were inferior because they're women. For Christ's sake, why didn't they talk? Anyway, here's a lovely discussion. Can you imagine? Yes, the man says, women are a mystery. The woman says, here's what we are. But the man says, literally, what do they want? And the woman says, well, for a start, I guess that we shall never know. In other words, men always interrupt, don't they? They don't listen, do we? What do you call a world with no men? A world with little or no crime and a lot of very rather nice, fat, happy women. So, what are the learning points since this virus outbreak? Well, Bernie's Nostalgia Club, that's me, I'm the one-man club, and it's saying that we need to be kinder and more supportive towards each other. Can you see that, everybody? We need to be kinder and more supportive to each other. Princess Diana said, and this is lovely, she said, carry out, can you see that? Carry out a random act of kindness with little or no expectation of reward, safe in the knowledge that one day someone might do the same for you. Isn't that lovely? I think that's beautiful, isn't it? Now, one of the most outrageous things I thought was at the beginning, all this stampeding and hoarding of loo paper and all the food, and all these people, I had to put green on their faces. And little did we know, they were all spreading the germs at the time, weren't they? They were terrible. And we stopped going to football, and they banned football, they banned going to the cinema and things like that. But the Parliament carried on meeting, and they're all spreading the germs. And then suddenly Boris, he got it, and he went into isolation, and poor fellow, he became quite ill. And he sent out this lovely letter from Downing Street. I thought it was quite good. Did you get it? I thought it was good. We all got a letter like that. But a lot of people wouldn't open it. They were frightened. They thought it might have the lurgy on it. And then our health minister, he got it, Mr. Hancock. And then Professor Christopher Whitty, he got it. He's our health chief medical officer. Then this man, if you don't know him, you're better off not knowing him. But anyway, Uncle Albert and Auntie Edna, this is Dominic Cummings. His idea was to do herd immunity to protect the economy. And that if that meant that a few pensioners died, apparently, allegedly, he said too bad. And that was in mid-March. They announced that the UK would be taking a different route from everybody else in dealing with the pandemic, that would be doing a herd economy. But when they found out what this would mean to our hospitals, they stopped it. And that's why they say we must look after our NHS. We must look after the people, not the NHS. And then this man, do you remember him, Michael Gove? His family got it, and you can see the bugs, the virus climbing up his. Look at the curtains; they're full of the bugs. And any teachers, when you mention Michael Gove, they kind of go ah. Anyway, now Auntie Edna, what do politicians and nappies have in common? What do politicians and nappies have in common? Well, they both need to be changed frequently. And Uncle Albert, sadly, too often for the same reason. Now, Auntie Edna and Uncle Albert, now seriously, what is one of the main learning points since the outbreak of this horrible virus? Well, the most successful countries in dealing with the virus, can you see them? New Zealand, Taiwan, Iceland, Finland, Norway, Denmark and Germany. They are really successful in dealing with the virus, unlike many other countries. And what have they all got in common? Women. Women are their leaders. Can you see them? Germany, Taiwan, New Zealand, Denmark, Norway, Iceland. This is a famous saying. A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong it is until she's put in hot water. Eleanor Roosevelt said that. Isn't that telling that all these countries being run by women are the most successful in dealing with the virus? That's amazing, isn't it? So, I'm saying to you, women, stick up for yourselves more. Britain, come on, Aunt Edna and Uncle Albert and I, Auntie Edna and Uncle Albert and I would all say, women of Britain, stick up for yourselves more. Stop sitting in the meetings being quiet. Go to the union meetings. Go to your local town council. Tell the husband to cook his own dinner. Get on with it. Demand equal rights. Demand equal pay. How long have we had the Equal Pay Act in this country? Since the 70s, and we still haven't achieved equal pay in the United Kingdom. What is the matter with you women? Get on with it. Stick up for yourselves. All right? Stop being her indoors. Get more involved. Now, there used to be a saying, a woman's place is in the house. All right? Woman's place is in the house. What do you see? Not her indoors anymore, but the House of Commons, all right? And what Julie Garland said, I really like this. Be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate of somebody else. That's what Auntie Edna would say, and Uncle Albert, and me. So, here we go. This is my big talk for today, and my frustration is you women, take over this bloody country, please. On your messes, start getting involved. All right? Please. Cheerio, everybody. Cheerio. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this informative. Do follow me on Facebook. Do please follow me on YouTube. Best wishes. Keep smiling, everybody. We're going to be out of this soon. And keep positive. All right? And for God's sake, women, stop being so shy and be more self-confident, all right? Believe in yourselves. You are just as important as the fellas, all right? If not more so. Your values are brilliant. I don't care what side of politics you are, but your values are good, all right? Cheerio, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. How do I switch this off?